Hello, this is Dan Genovese with EnerCom, and I'm joined today by Scott Taylor. He's president and CEO of LiTHOS Technology. LiTHOS is going to be presenting, Scott will be presenting on Tuesday, April 18th at 4:40 p.m. at the Energy Venture Investment Summit at EnerCom Dallas, and that's being held at the Hotel Crescent Court in Uptown Dallas. LiTHOS Technology is building the future of sustainable lithium production, and you're able to set up one-on-one meetings with Scott at the conference. You can register for the conference at www.enercomdallas.com. Scott, welcome.
Thank you very much for having me today, Dan.
You bet.
The opportunity.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to learning a little bit more about LiTHOS Technology. So give us a little 30,000-foot overview of what you do.
Yeah, so the first thing is the why. I myself am involved in the energy technology space with hydraulic fracture stimulation, with technology on unconventional oil and gas wells for the last 15 years, and pushing forward some of the most dynamic technologies. And I did not appreciate for the last 5 years listening to the hypocrisy that I've seen with the messaging around the transformation of the electrification of the transportation sector and grid storage, without the understanding of how those minerals that are coming into that supply chain are actually being produced. And they're actually being produced in the most unsustainable, unethical, and inefficient way that I've ever seen in my entire career. So what we've tried to do here at LiTHOS is take proven technology from the energy space and transpose it and augment it to optimize it for direct lithium extraction in a sustainable and environmentally conscious manner.
Yeah, and lithium is a critical material for all this battery technology, whether it's grid storage or whether it's vehicles.
Exactly.
But we only control domestically 1% of that market.
Less than 1%, Dan. It's an embarrassment to North America, and particularly to the United States. We've been asleep at the wheel for the last couple of decades. We have one producing lithium brine mine that's owned by Albemarle in Silver Peak, Nevada.
Okay.
That produces less than 1% of the supply for the entire global economy, and we have no refining capacity. Can you imagine if we had that same situation with oil and gas? People would be freaking out on the streets. It's nuts, and no one seems to really be paying attention to this right now. It's a big deal.
So the current approach to lithium extraction is what versus your sustainable direct lithium extraction? Kind of give a comparison of how we're currently doing it, or how it's currently being done, and your approach.
So the majority of the resource that we have between North and South America is from shallow, brine salty reservoirs that we will pump the fluid to the surface, push them into evaporation ponds, agitate them with huge quantities of acid over a period of 9 months to 2 years, and then get to the point where we can upgrade this into a battery-grade feedstock. It is each one of these mines on average will produce 250,000 tons of carbon dioxide per year. It will consume 10 billion gallons of water in the most arid climate you can imagine. And it loses up to 60% of the in-situ resource, whilst taking anywhere from 9 months to 2 years to produce that fluid that you pumped to the surface. It's a time-consuming, inefficient, and unsustainable process, and it's inconceivable to think that in North America, with the resources that we have that are similar to South America that are already in production, that they're going to get into production with this conventional approach. It's the same thing you think 20 years ago with shale oil and gas, right? We knew we had these resources deep in the ground, and then we applied our American ingenuity, we applied our skill sets, and we unlocked that with directional drilling, with limited entry completion design, and with reservoir modeling.
Yeah.
paradox shift that's going to happen here right now. But like, if someone doesn't step up and go do that, like, it's going to be a trapped resource.
So how does your application drive efficiencies, lower cost, lower the CO2 footprint, eliminate caustic chemicals, and dramatically decrease the time to produce, recover more resource? I'm intrigued.
Yeah, great question. So, I would say a majority of the other people that are doing direct lithium extraction have done a very good job in the laboratory, and they're at the stage where they're going from the laboratory out into the field to go and try and scale up and improve the technology. That's a very, very difficult, time-consuming task for someone that hasn't done this before. What we decided to do, we partnered up with a proven oil and gas wastewater solutions technology company that had a patented process for doing pre-treatment to be able to extract out hydrocarbons, solids, chemicals, and return back clean fluid water back to the operators. And we're augmenting this process for direct lithium extraction. And that's really like the key pain point that acts as the funnel to like the scalability and deliverability of this technology. So the second part of your question, what we're specifically looking at doing is reducing the amount of water that's consumed during the production process. Number two is reducing the amount of carbon dioxide that's emitted. Number three, reducing significantly the amount of like toxic chemicals that have to be applied to this process to generate the feedstock of the lithium hydroxide.
Okay. And so what stage are you at? And then you're coming to the Energy Venture Investment Summit to raise some capital. So tell me, as we kind of wrap up, tell me where LiTHOS is at stage-wise and what type of capital you're looking to raise and your goals there at the conference.
Thank you very much. Yeah, so we are at a pre-revenue stage. We have identified our first 8 customers. We are processing them. I'm sitting here right now in my processing facility / laboratory down here in downtown Denver, Colorado. And basically what we're going to be doing here for the next 6 months is we're going to be taking these raw input lithium enriched brines and processing them through our facility and then generating a bespoke PIND or like a flow sheet, which is like the blueprints for their facility, and then selling them back to them. So where we're at right now is we've actually we're doing like the equivalent of like an RTO of a SPAC up on the Toronto Stock Exchange with Alchemist Minerals, so on ams.cn. So we're going to be a publicly traded company here in about a month, probably around the same time that we present up there. So we've got some increased liquidity. We have enough money in the bank to be able to operate for the next 1.5 years. What we're going to be doing is engaging with our strategic partners, with our customers, and with a couple of select venture capital companies here to raise the next round of money, so that we've got the amount of money that we need to get ourselves out and put these systems out into production out in the.
Yeah, Scott, sounds like a fascinating company that you're running there. And I really want to encourage people to come to the conference, set up a one-on-one meeting with Scott to learn more about LiTHOS technology. Again, you'll be able to contact him. I'll include in the publisher's notes their email address for the company, as well as Scott's email. So if you want to reach out in advance after hearing this interview, find out a little bit more, you're free to do that. But I'd really encourage you to come down, meet him in person down in Dallas. Again, he'll be presenting on Tuesday, April 18th at 4:40 p.m. At the Energy Venture Investment Summit at EnerCom Dallas. It's a lot to say these days, but really encourage people to take advantage of this opportunity, meet you in person, and discuss the company and the opportunity in terms of transforming lithium extraction out of brine. Thanks, Scott, for your time, and look forward to seeing you in a few weeks down in Dallas.
Yeah, pleasure to meet you. Have a nice afternoon, sir. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.